The Dark Angel, known as Stephanie Vaquer, has already become one of the fastest rising stars in WWE history. She's only been with WWE since the summer of last year, in around June of last year, and has already accomplished so much in WWE. Not only did she win the NXT Women's North American Championship, she is the only woman in NXT to hold both the NXT Women's North American Championship and the NXT Women's Championship in a single championship run. No one has ever staked that claim whatsoever. Not only that, she has also won a tag team match at Worlds Collide back in June earlier this year, and even also competed in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and she has also she also won the Battle Royal back at Evolution to earn a shot at the women's world title this past Saturday at WrestlePalooza. Originally, at it was supposed to have taken place at Clash in Paris, but because of Naomi's pregnancy, that did not come to pass, and they decided to postpone it for this past Saturday at WrestlePalooza against Io Sky. Now, now the Dark Angel can now call herself Women's World Champion after defeating Io Sky in an instant classic. But the question is now, who will step up to La Primera for the Women's World Championship? Honestly, there is a lot to consider. You've got so many incredible talent on the Raw roster. You've got Asuka, you've got Bayley, you've got Becky Lynch, the current Intercontinental Champion. You've got the returning AJ Lee. You've got Ivy Nile. You've got Io Sky that I just mentioned. Kairi Sane. You've got Liv Morgan. You've got Lyra Valkyria, Maxine Dupree, Natalia, Nikki Bella. You've got Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and also Zoe Stark. But unfortunately, Zoe Stark's been out with an injury for a little over a year now, and we haven't heard much from her. In fact, no one. In fact, I believe it's been since earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, that we last saw Zoe Stark. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute. But even with that, she could still make a massive return to Monday Night Raw in the foreseeable future. However, when you look at that list of talent in the women's division, from women like Asuka, women like AJ Lee and Bayley and Becky, and Lyra and Ivy Nile and Io, Rhea, Kyrie, all these women that I just named, they've all had a huge, they all 100%, they all deserve a shot at the women's world title. But thinking on what's been going on involving the women's world title, given what's been happening now, the four that I would love to see get that opportunity would be Asuka. It would have to be Asuka, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Roxanne Perez. Now Asuka, we all know that Asuka is arguably one of the most dominant NXT Women's Champions of all time. 100%. There is no dispute. There is no dispute about it whatsoever. Asuka was that dominant as NXT Women's Champion over 560 days as NXT Women's Champion. She went undefeated throughout that whole time. That whole time, and even took that streak to the main roster, which lasted until WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans, where we all know Charlotte Flair made Asuka tap out to the figure 8. Since that night in New Orleans, Asuka has truly revamped herself in a her manner of speaking, because she's added war paint. She's teamed up. She's been a teammate with Kairi Sane for several years now, dating all the way back to 2019, when Kairi Sane was one of the women that got called up to the main roster post WrestleMania. And think of all of the accolades that Asuka has gained since being a part of WWE, dating back to NXT. NXT Women's Champion, 4-time Women's Tag Team Champion. She's a former WWE Women's Champion, a former Raw Women's Champion, a former SmackDown Women's Champion, a Royal Rumble winner, a Money in the Bank winner. She's won the Elimination Chamber. She's headlined WrestleMania. She has done so much for WWE that the only championship right now that I believe that could make her career complete is the Women's World Title. Yes, there is the Women's Intercontinental Title and the Women's US Title, but I feel like if there was one championship that could really make her career complete, it would definitely be the Women's World Title. Now, as far as Io Sky goes, after what happened on Saturday, she is definitely deserving of yet another shot. But given the extent of her leg injury at the hands of Stephanie Vaquer, it's definitely gonna be a while before we see Io go after the title. So probably not a good time now, but potentially in the next 3 to 6 months, 100% it will definitely be the right time. Now, as far as Rhea Ripley goes, she has yet to receive her legit one-on-one title rematch that didn't involve outside interference. Yes, she did receive several opportunities last year in 2024 when she returned from her shoulder injury, but that was only because Dominic Mysterio got involved and Rhea Ripley had lost. Earlier this year, back in January, she defeated Liv Morgan to become Women's World Champion, and she wanted to take that title into WrestleMania, but she dropped the ball, unfortunately. But she has definitely earned a potential one-on-one rematch for the Women's World Title against Stephanie Vaquer. And then you got Roxanne Perez. If there's one person who knows Stephanie Vaquer better than anyone else, it's definitely Roxanne Perez. We know that they've had multiple matches in NXT, and unfortunately Roxanne Perez has yet to defeat the Dark Angel. And if there's one person that could potentially do that, it's definitely Roxanne. Would that piss off Raquel Rodriguez? Absolutely. Would that piss off Liv Morgan? You're damn right. 100%, it would definitely piss off both former women's tag team champions. But knowing Roxanne, she would probably do it for the betterment of the Judgment Day, and Finn Balor would probably approve it, in my honest opinion. So with that in mind, now the question becomes, which two would be removed from this batch? As crazy as it sounds, Roxanne Perez. The reason why, first up, again, it has to be Roxanne. The reason why I say I bring up the Prodigy again is because right now Raquel and Roxanne are trying to go after the women's tag team titles again, which are currently being held by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, having two back-to-back successful title defenses. Not only last Tuesday at NXT Homecoming against the Culling, but also this past Friday against Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. With Raquel and Roxanne going after the women's tag team titles, what would happen if Roxanne did receive that opportunity at the women's world title? Could she potentially win the title and keep it for herself, or would she do the right thing and give it to Liv Morgan? Crazy as it sounds, I think she'd probably keep it for herself. But with the fact that the fact that Raquel and Roxanne are going after the women's tag team titles, Roxanne Perez could potentially lose focus on what matters most, and that's bringing the tag titles back into the Judgment Day, and that would really throw her game off completely if she were to challenge for the women's world title. Next up, the second person that I believe should be removed from this list, as crazy as it sounds, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for this, but it definitely is going to be Io Sky. And the reason why I say that is because of the leg injury. It's going to take at least a few weeks, potentially even a month, before that leg fully heals naturally, before she can get back into the ring and do what she does best. And not only that, Io Sky knows that she would have to earn her way into title contention, and we know that opportunities do not come that often whatsoever. So Io Sky would definitely have to wait in the back of the line to receive another opportunity. So that brings us to Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Two incredibly gifted talent. Absolutely incredible. Both are former NXT Women's Champions. Rhea Ripley obviously being the only woman to defend an NXT Championship at WrestleMania, which again ties into the question, between Asuka and Rhea, who would it be? As crazy as this sounds, I would have to say Rhea Ripley. And the reason why is because it's as I said earlier on, she has yet to receive an actual one-on-one rematch for the women's world title that did not involve outside interference. Excuse me. Every time she would get a shot at the women's world title, one of two things happens. It's one of two things. It's always one of two things. It's either a triple threat match, or B, she loses due to outside interference. It's one or the other. Stephanie Vaquer has always been known to do things on her own and at her own pace. So imagine the dream match, right? Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vaquer. The Eradicator versus the Dark Angel. La Primera versus Mami. That right there would be the ultimate dream match. And as far as Asuka goes, she's just too focused on trying to win the women's tag team titles with Kairi Sane, which again, Bliss and Flair against Asuka and Kairi. That would be a very interesting matchup, given the fact that all four women know each other very well, especially Bliss and Flair knowing Asuka very well, being tag team champions with Asuka in the first place. So I would have to say it would have to be Rhea Ripley getting that opportunity at at the women's world title. But the question is, when can we expect it to happen? Honestly, it can happen sometime between now and Survivor Series, which isn't going to be for another actually less than 2 months. We are less than 2 months away from Survivor Series, so it probably won't be much longer until we get that match, but we will have to wait and see. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.